Whoa, Jesus is a sanctuary. Everybody's welcome. Everybody's free. Welcome to the story behind the song, and this week we're taking a look at that particular song, Jesus is a Sanctuary. And that lyric itself, I think, is one of the reasons that that song is an important one for our community. That simple, powerful, prophetic proclamation that Jesus is a sanctuary really matters. It matters in a world that's so full of hostility, so full of hate and violence, so full of enmity and division and polarization. It's like we can't come together anymore. It's like we've forgotten that there is the possibility that well-meaning people can agree to disagree. And so in our community, that's one of our foundational principles. It's how we have the conversations around Scripture and about theology and about all the issues in which we face in our world. It's a basic respect that we have for one another as human beings, even if we passionately disagree. I got opinions, right? We can passionately disagree, but we can still respect each other. And that's a reality that we try to create in our community. But beyond that, it's an important word, especially for our community. It's an important word for many of us who are displaced. It's an important word for many of us who live on the streets. We face harassment every day. People will step over you, walk by you, not look you in the face, not even address you as a human being. As soon as you settle down somewhere, there's always going to be somebody else who comes and says, hey, you need to move along. So as a church, as a community of folks who are trying to follow Jesus, to be able to create a place, to be able to create a community within whose presence there's a sense of sanctuary really matters. And we talk about sanctuary, we talk about it in two ways. The word comes from the Latin sanctus, which means holy. And so we talk about that idea of holiness. And of course, we often attribute that to a facility, to a building, to a place. And that's important because places matter. And when you're on the streets, truth is, buildings are pretty important. But it's also true that God has called us and created us to be a sanctuary as a community, that we create relationships of holiness, where we not only honor God as holy and God's presence in our midst, but we also honor one another as children of God, as human beings created in the image of God, which implies that there's a holiness. And so we have to treat each other as holy. And another way of talking about that, just to make it simple, is respect. The second meaning of the word sanctuary really comes from the tradition, the rich tradition of the churches that throughout the ages has offered a safe place, a haven, a refuge for folks who were running away or trying to escape something bad, something oppressive. And so this idea of creating a safe place, a holy place, and a safe place, a place where people can be comfortable, a place where people know that they're welcome. That's such an important part of what it is to be a church. And so we tried to capture that in the song. And so we hope that you enjoy it.